Yes, we are live. Just going to zoom in just a little bit. Hope everyone is doing well. Just going to straighten this out just a little bit. I don't know if that do it. Otherwise, we will be crooked. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm going to get it somewhat straight. Okay. Great. All right. Let's just dive right in. I am starting just a little bit earlier than normal, but just by, 10 minutes. Um, going to show you a couple things, and then I believe, we are going to work on the, um, remember for Creep on June, good morning, Dawn. We're going to work on Creep on June. And for that, I've got two albums that are being made. One is the journal itself, and that's right here with each day. And we're turning this into also a Poe themed, somewhat Advent calendar. We're going to have horror. And I say that in quotes because some of them are not truly horror. They're just around the Halloween time that we watch. Um, so we've got that album. And then we've also got the album for the game. So this is like a gaming album. And this one is called um, Games of Creep. Get it? Okay. So we're going to be working on that because I want to show how this album actually came out. It's two albums in one. It's a scrapbook album with a hinge system, and it's got a hidden spine as we would for journals, and they're actually envelopes. So I'll show, what that kind of looks like. Um, with that. Oh, tea dye and papers. Okay. So you do that outside, Dawn? You dry them outside? We are ramping up here. I'm in the east, and we are in the heat dome. Um, well, hello, Diane. Good, well, okay. Morning, evening for you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I've got my water. We're good. So last week, if you remember too, what I'm going to show, um, good morning, Cordelia, is I gave the second horror story of the debacle of the power surge that came through our house. Um, Lost just a few things. What I will say is we did get a power surge protector on our box, and recently it did its job. So everything was protected on the next round when we lost power. But the second horrific thing that happened was the, if you remember, the Gothic Christmas journal that I had started. It's just something that I like goth, very much into it. So this was the journal that we started, and this is what happened to the journal as it crashed. Um, I could, I mean, it just desecrated the cover, the two covers, um, and I could possibly take the time to try to hinge it back together, but I just don't feel it's going to have its strength. I was also, when I was looking at this, I didn't have a good feeling as I was going because this spine is just so huge. I mean, this was a very, very big spine. Too big, actually. Too much is already in it. So, yeah, we're just going to finish it. I will save these panels. Um, by all means, I don't know what I'll do with them, but I will somehow save them and have them be in something else. I love, and but I did love this cover. I loved the holly berries with the black opaque paste and the red glitter for the berries. It was very, yeah. I had to have another moment. The spine, amazingly, didn't bend. It didn't do anything. It just took. So that's something to think about when it comes to your albums. Your weakest point is going to be at this point, but let me tell you, it took a lot of force for this to rip all of that was in there, and what happened, it just hit it this way. Um, when what I was doing, just I just had to let it go, or else I was going to hurt myself. So, um, but yeah, it was just too chunky. I like a journal that, I need to be able to at least grab it here, and it was just wide. So we are going to resurrect this. I have another idea for all of this, but what I am going to do, and I'm probably going to make people cringe, is we are going to cut all of this out. Um, Now, I'm not going to pull the spine out, the hidden spine. I'm just going to clip all of the pages, and you can simply do that by getting that knot out, and then I should be able to just pull all these out. So the pages, amazingly, are fine. I just don't know how all that happened. But I believe, because of the way I was feeling with this spine and the size of this book, it's just something that was meant to happen. So I'm okay with it. So we are just going to deconstruct. So yeah, if anything like this happens, again, never give up. You know, save what you can. Continue to work through it. I'll save this panel as well, and I'll figure something out, I'm sure, of what we can do. But at least, the journal wasn't in a finish spot. So, yeah. Let's see, we got one more here. Let's see, who else is here? Hello, Beth. You've always got to pivot, Dawn. I am one that I do not give up on something. Now, these I will not. I know somebody's going to holler at me. I'm not going to save these. The wax has already gone through the papers, and it's too fiddly for me. These I will, of course, save. Now, these I'm not going to be able to take off. I am going to cut this lace off, though. That lace was making me crazy, as also only because it was crooked, and I knew it was crooked when I glued it in there. So I'm just cutting right along this line. down close with my snips here. I will save that because that will be great for clusters, tag toppers. That will go into my scraps of lace, absolutely. These are just well glued in there. We'll see if we can get these close. These are just flying all over the place. So I'll be finding these for weeks on end. I won't be able to... I'm going to see if I can pull this off. And you'll see just how strong this tape is. I'm just getting one of the layers off from the spine. Alright, let's see if we'll put some glue down on that. So what the goal is here is just to preserve these panels, because what I can do is, you know, if we take, I'm just going to cut right along that now. If we take, like when we take a book cover, and we turn that into a journal, you know, I might be able to do that, you know, where we create the spine and all of that. It was just not going to work for me to do that with this book. It was going to change the look of it, unless I could have found, like, you know, like metal corners, but yeah, no. Nope. And we'll just go down this, even this out. Hello, good morning. Yes, this is the unfortunate act that happened when we lost all kinds of stuff. Alright. So those are the two panels. Again, we'll save them. This is, I'm not sure how they looked. How did I do that? If this was the inside and this, oh, that was the inside. Here we go. I think that's how they went. And then we'll trim this up. I do have an idea of what I'm going to do with the signatures or the papers that are left. I believe they are going to turn into, there we go, and we'll just sand all of that off. So that is what we have left out of that journal. Good morning, Heidi. Yeah, so for those of you just coming in, we had the issue with the book. If you want, go to the replay and you'll see what this looked like. The front cover absolutely tore completely off, and the back cover was actually hanging on by an inch. So we've just taken it apart. We're going to save these. We'll put these with other book covers that I have and say, okay, these are the pages. They were not damaged. Now, yes, they do have holes in them, but that's okay. That is totally, totally okay. I'm going to keep them together. And what my thought process is for this journal is I want to see, I'll find out how many pages are in each of these signatures, and I may take pages out, but they're going to become single journals, single signature journals, and they're going to be housed in a box. So you'll still see the edge, and then there will be charms that come off. The only thing that I may have an issue with is I would have liked to have had all the Santa and the sleigh and the reindeer together, all of the Christmas trees and the presents together, um, all of the snowmen and the snow globes together, all of the treats together, and then they would have had those charms down. We might be able to do that. I would just have to line up the holes. So it'll be a fun process. Um, a very fun process. Something did not eat it. This was during the debacle of the lost sewing machine. When I was moving things to get to where I needed to go, I had a very high stack of plastic bins that I should not have had that high, and they tipped. And they came out of my hands, and I just let them go because I couldn't, if I moved, I would have damaged other things, and this book was just in its path, and it came crashing down on it. And it was sitting up on the table like a book would, not laid down. If it laid down, it may have just flattened it. But yeah, it was sitting upright like this, and it just came crashing in this way. So it just pushed the spine right through, and it was a big force. There was a lot that was going on there. Oh, Dawn, be safe with the thunderstorms. Be safe. So that is what this is actually going to turn into. So it's going to turn into single signatures with themes, lots of themes, and we're going to create, or I'm going to try to create a box that they'll be able to slide into when it comes. This is it. Yeah, this was a great digital. I forget who it was. I think when I showcased it last year, I have all the information in there. Very much metal, very much goth, but soft goth. It's more metal, steampunky-ish. So that's what's going to happen to this. So, yeah, it was, I'm like, wow, okay. This is just continuing. So that's what you can do. I mean, if a book gets destroyed, deconstruct it. Pull your book apart, save the pieces you can. And again, within reason, you've got to look at the pieces that you're saving. So these little doilies, yes, I can save those. Pull those out of the center. The lace that was going along the top, yes, I can certainly save this because this can be a tag topper. This can be an edge. So these can be for clusters. By all means, save that. Now, I did not save the wax thread that I cut. So I showed this in the beginning. I did not save these pieces because this is wax thread. It already went through the paper. It's lost it. This is just too fiddly for me. Absolutely too fiddly. I mean, could I cut them and use them for tag toppers? I could, but they wouldn't be able to be part of my poofs. So again, look, I save everything, but there are some things where I'm like, okay, no. So that's been worn. It's gone through papers. That's why I did not keep that. Absolutely, Heidi. Save it. Look at it and deconstruct. Even though we have the holes already set through the papers, it's just going to take a little longer when we sew the signatures because you'll have to do one by one when we go back through. So you're not going to create another hole. You're not going to make a bigger hole. So if I open this, get this to the center, I'm going to flatten it out and say, okay, these are the presents, and I'm going to reestablish all of the papers. So I can just continue to lay them out of the styles and of the pieces. Put a lot of doilies in this. These are the Santas. So the miscellaneous papers, I'm going to put over there. The Gothic ones, I'm going to put there. So let's see. Would we like to just, for me to continue with this? To see what we do, how I do this? Or what my plan is? I'm not really crafting. I was going to work on the games of Creep, and I can still do that depending upon the time. So I'm just going to re-establish the lineup. I like the way the pages are cut. I don't have that issue where I'm thinking, okay, I need to change what that layout's going to be. What I'm hoping is for my idea is that I'm able to do the setup that I'm thinking about. I don't know, though. And here's our last one. Vicky, good morning. Welcome. Oops. Oh, I thought that was upside down. Too funny. And that is that. She is completely deconstructed. So this is drawing paper. I just like the color of it for journals. And then this is all my coffee dyed. are the miscellaneous. Not sure why I did that. And then this is the main part of the digital. So my thought is, so we have a sled and a snow globe. That's kind of off, out of sync. They're bells. These are reindeer. I think when I copied these double-sided, I kept everything the same. So Santa, reindeer, sled. That's my thought. We could go tree bells, more sleds, more reindeer. This is home. Santa, sweets, snow globe. That's going to go with the snowman. I don't think I have too many sweets. That's the home. That's the Santa. That's the snowman. These are the presents. Presents home. So let's see here. So, what do we got going on? So the tree, the presents. These are the two oddballs. The sweets with the home. The snowman. And there we go. So these could just be broken down. So that's what we're looking at for that. All right, now let's get into some fun, right? And then I'll just save these and we'll put them all back together. These will be saved, of course. And maybe it is good because there was only one hole in those, so they would have spun just a little bit. And same thing with the doilies. We will definitely save those. So all good. Never get upset. We had a moment. We had a single moment, absolutely. But it's paper, right? It is just paper. So we went from that to this pile. Yep. But yes, always save things. Don't say, okay, this is trash. Don't continue on it. It can be fixed. I just not going to fix those things. There was just too much weight in it. Okay, let's have some fun. So this is the second album for Creep on June that I'm going to work on. This album is going to be called Games of Creep. Let me move this out. These are the extra papers in. So I've got everything lined up. Now, where this one is different is right here. So we did our album the same way, but what we did here is we put in a hinge system. And what I mean by a hinge system, I mean this. So, scrapbook album. So whenever I do a scrapbook album, we're going to have a hinge system in that. And then we create our pages to slide over these, or you can put, you know, one style page here and another style page coming off of it this way, but nothing is sewn into the spine, all right? It's hinge. And that's what these three are. So we've got 1, full page, and that's going to hold one of our board games. We've got our second one. That's going to hold our second board game because we created the boards that are going to go in it. And then we have our third one. And then that too is going to hang on to or hold, house, however we want to say that, our other board game, our tic-tac-toe. So hinge. We've got this hinge, and then we'll be able to decorate this, have some fun with it, figure out what we want to do. This side here, we created a hidden spine. So just like we do when it comes to our journals, we had that hidden spine put in there. But we didn't have a journal pages, a signature that was going to be sewn. What we did was we created an envelope. And I don't think I showed this on the live. This is something because I couldn't figure it out. So this is going to be like a coin envelope, just whoom, larger. So we pieced it. We used 12 by 12 papers, and you can see we've sewn it in. And I sewed it in reverse. So the bow where we tied it was on the other side of the hidden spine. So those are glued on the other side of this so that this didn't catch. So we're going to have this piece that's going to come in like this. And we want to angle the top and the bottom. And I know it's black paper and you can't see it because that's what I do. So yes, while they're in the album, because I didn't do that before we sewed it in because I make things very difficult, I'm just going to angle these in and cut on an angle up to the top. And we're going to do the same thing here. I like to do yoga in my craft room. And then we're going to do the same thing on each side. Now this doesn't lift up, so we're just going to angle. These scissors are great because they have a great point so that I can get down to each side. We've got this already angled down here, and then we just need to angle the top as well. I am not looking for perfection. I'm fine with the imperfection of this. I think even if I had these out, I would still have them crooked. Then I created side panels. So we're going to take these side panels and we are going to glue these onto our two flaps, just like this. And so I can see, we're going to put that in there. All right, so here we go. Grab my glue, unclog my glue, add our glue, we're going to go to the corner. Sorry for the scratching sounds. Just going to eyeball that, and then this is going to go on top of this. along the edge. So we're just lining it up along the edge of our fold. So now we've got a longer flap on our piece. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And except this time, I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it out, I'm going to grab a pencil, I'm going to draw a line. Now I know where to put the glue on this piece. And again, we're going to line it up to the top corner, take it down to the edge, just above the fold, and we're going to push that down. So again, our sewn in signature, which is the envelope, that sewn in signature is now going to be hidden. So now these will cross over. This will be coming up, and then this will be our flap. So then our game pieces will sit inside the envelope for this game. And because we didn't put the knot in there, we didn't have that kept in there, they're going to slide in and out very easily. So these are actually going to be envelopes, but they are sewn in onto the hidden spine. So we've got two types of journals that are being created within the journal. So we can travel, we can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. And then we can just keep decorating it as well. And each one will have its own game. So that was the cipher, these are the search words, these are the mazes, this is the difference game, and then this, we're going to make a little tiny journal with all of the answers and directions and all of that fun stuff. That'll sit in the book. That's what we're looking at. All kinds of crazy stuff. Alright, let's check the chat. And I'm going to be using a lot of file folders to back my pieces. Let's see, was there I do like crackling paper too, Cordelia. I could just listen to it all. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Get my trash out of the way. And let's get the next one in. So let's get the envelopes set. I thought I cut all these actually. Cut the bottom ones, but yeah, I never cut these. And then I just have to decide what the closure is going to be. So I don't want to glue my envelope up yet. Um, I want to make sure that if I use a brad, I'll be able to put a brad in there, but I doubt I'm going to do that. Let's see. I just need to see that. And we're just going to eyeball it. So your signatures don't have to be paper all the time. You can make envelopes, you can add cards. Um, that's the beauty of sewing things in. And it adds um, interaction. And I like it when I do this. So we're hiding the bloop. Let's just call it a bloop, where this isn't going all the way to the bottom with our upper flap. Because we can do that. Yes! We can hide anything we want. Well, good morning or evening or afternoon, Sala. How are you doing? Loved the live yesterday. Yes, I was there. I popped in every once in a while. I was actually working on a project. And I think we're going to do this. So here's a question for you guys. Well, that was easy. Um, I had fun yesterday listening to you two and the conversations. I think it's fun to have crafty conversations. It's a vast world, our crafts. But it was a lot of fun. Had a good time. And I just put that one on, not to the top. Okay, I think I got a little carried away with all the paper clips. I'm just saying. Oops. Now, the reason why I'm cutting these pieces away is so that the flaps will fold up freely. I don't want them caught on anything. There we go. Paper clips are awesome, Sala. They just, um, but I only use them when it comes to a journal or an album, so that I can start, because I do lay out, oh, those I cut. Okay. You know, I amaze myself sometimes. Um, but I like these paper clips because they don't get caught on the paper. I find some paper clips they'll get caught and hung up, and I don't want them to scratch up the paper. So these, they just don't do that. They don't have that piece that gets caught. That or binder clips. bulldog clips. I use those a lot too as things get thicker. And there we go. So those are the envelopes, but they're the signature. I don't know if that makes sense. So again, half of this has the hidden spine. Yeah, half of this has the hidden spine, and then the other section is the hinge system, like that. So you can combine those mechanisms. I'm sorry, I just have to check my phone because I am on call. Nope, all right. I can ignore that one. Yay! Because again, our sewn is hidden in here, and I reversed it. The bow's not to the inside. Now, I just haven't figured out my closure yet. I don't think that I'm going to use a brad. And if I do, I'm going to make it a different way. So we're going to close these up because I'm going to tear them if I don't. All right. So I'm going to put glue on that edge, and I'm going to put glue on the edge of this. And then when it comes down, we should be good. And yeah, I'm going to put a piece of paper down there because then I know if I glued it or not. I don't want to glue it down. Well, good morning, Biddy. You missed the deconstruction of the god. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, my goodness. We are just having a day today. Oh, I didn't cut these either. So Biddy, I showed in the beginning the deconstruction of the Goth journal. She is deconstructed, she is broken apart, and for some reason I need to check that one. Okay. And our last one. Now I have no idea how to put that together. Yes, the goth one has, I just, but, you know, I think there was a reason I wasn't feeling it. And that can happen. And it just did in a big way. It didn't have to let me know that as violently as it did. You know, it could have been, you know, something just a little softer and a lot nicer. But okay. So those are our signatures. Even though they're not pages, they're still being sewn in. Into your book. All right. And then this back here is all set on hinges. And we have this massive pocket here. So we are going to work on all of the game pieces today. And I'm going to, okay. So there is the album. And you can't see that. So these three are on hinges, like a scrapbook album, you would see. And these are actually our signatures, but they're envelopes. And you can do that. That's the beauty of it. You can take a paper bag and cut it in half, and at the fold, put that into your signature as well. So you can combine, and you can see where we've combined it. So this here's the plaque for the hidden spine, and we reversed it. So instead of having the bow on the inside when we sewed, we put the knot and the bow in between this hidden spine and the cover spine. And then these here are just extremely, you know, large pockets, and that's where the board games are going to sit in. So this I am very pleased with. Yes, this actually worked. And Yes, it's a wide spine, but I also wanted room because of the closures for the envelopes for these. That's going to take up room. And then so this will probably close just like that. Yeah. So I didn't know if this was going to work, but it did. So let's start having some fun. Let's say. Oh, you have puppy chaos. Oh my. Don't have puppy chaos. Okay. Does everyone remember the game Shoots and Ladders? Do we remember that game? I do. I very much do. There are pieces that I'm missing. Okay. And we are going to make um, little pockets for these. I'm not quite sure how, but we're going to do it. Oh, yes, we are. All right, so I'm going to use my punches. I need to see what size works here. And we're going to go with 1 inch. Okay, obnoxious noise. And we are going to set these as discs. And I need all right, hang on, I forgot some stuff. Oh my. Oh, my. It's okay. I just dropped something. Aha. Okay. So I'm going to use this as the back. I don't know how many I need here for 6. And now we're going to have some obnoxious sounds. Hand punches are awesome. Just saying. Just a few more obnoxious sounds. Now I got dots all over the place. All right. So let's get this in place first. And we're going to ink around that, of course. And we're going to do vintage photo and scorched timber. Yes, I am a fan of the scorched timber as well. I just like the look, but if you have black soot, stick with it. Mixing that with vintage photo will give you same thing. And wow, do I need a new blending foam pad on that? I shredded that up. There we go. So have a good one. Enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. Right? I remember playing this game all the time. And I just think it is absolutely amazing that she thought of this. I am going to distress the edges because, yeah, I do not do this with the scissors. You can use scissors. I am a klutz. So, therefore, and this is nothing but a needle cutter, a thread cutter. It's called a paper distressor. And yeah, we'll do this. Oh, and so Biddy, are you still here? Yes. Vicki, have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. So I just want you to know, I was thinking of you last night because in my kitchen appeared a wolf spider. And I thought of you. Yes. Yes, I did. You would be proud of me, though, because I handled the situation. Yes, me. Because I think if I would have told my husband to handle the situation, it wouldn't have been handled. And we all know what that causes. So, he would have been proud. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Yep. Guys, if you haven't figured it out, I am not a spider person. A big spider person. I've gotten better. I used to not be able to even handle small ones. But I have now. And I can now. All right, so now we're going to get this here. We've got room in the pocket, so I am good with these edges coming up. Because they'll just get more distressed. And more. Too cute. That is just absolutely adorable. Now, what we need though, we need dice, don't we? Right? We have to roll. Thank you, Betty. I was proud of myself as well. And I didn't scream at all. And I continued to breathe. Okay. Okay. So, Dawn, wherever you live, I will not be visiting you either. I'm, besides, no. Mm-mm. So yeah, we need die for shoots and ladders. At least that's what I thought. That's what I remember. So, just makes you go, I'm just erasing some of the ink to make sure that we see it. Yes. So on the back, we're going to put all the notes for the board game. But we are going, don't know what that was, but we are going to add to this because that's just too plain. Where's, okay. Almost lost that. Need my metal. And there it is. My scraps. So we're going to make little placards for the back. Because again, we got a lot of room in that envelope. And I specifically wanted that room for this. So I'm keeping a big border because, oh yeah, we must tear. I do have tear rulers, but sometimes I don't like the look. That's why I like to tear by hand. And I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, it did. Oh, look at that. So our vines and ladders is going to become a charm. So let's make our charm. Not sure why I'm doing that. Into that. And I'm going to strengthen, get that out of the way. And I'm going to strengthen, let's see, what size is this? So 1, 2, 3. And I'm hoping I'm going to get this the right size. Yep. Okay. So 7/8 by 3.5. So I just need to have a little bit of strength to this. So we're just going to build that up. And that should be good. And it's not. So I am in the world of making paper charms. I think, again, we can do anything with paper. We really can. Now, don't get me wrong, I like my metal. But sometimes we can't find the right metal pieces. All right, now I'm going to let that dry for a hot minute. We're going to need that. And we're going to need that. And I want this to sit on that. And we're going to do that. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to layer up I'm not worried about the white edge. So these are going to be our game pieces. So I took 5 circles. Yeah, that's what that was. That's a sign for circles. And then it's same way that I make the charms, if you've seen me do that. And then these become extremely heavy chipboard pieces. So, all right. Now, this should be good. I'm going to get this into place, and since it's going to be hanging outside of the pocket, I am going to put double-sided tape on this. Oh my. I cannot see that hole. Yes, I can. Me and this tool are not friends. All right, got that. Now this, I'm just going to glue this together. I don't want it to go over the side. And I'm wondering if I should strengthen this. So that's how, if you've got a punch that's got a fold to it, just punch it again, cut it in half, and now we've got a thick chipboard piece. And we're going to punch into this. I'm going to go right in the center. And then we're going to put this in here. It's not perfectly in the center, but that's okay. There we go. So now we've made our charm. And that will go through these two pieces. So there we go. Charm. Now for our other ones, let's see. Making sure there's no questions. Okay. And these we are going to put. I have way too many tools on my desk. That's a fun sound, right? Just saying. I love these little brads. I love brads. I think brads are one of those lost crafting tools or embellishments. Um, and yeah, I love metal, so, but still, I love brads. But I also, and I know they come in all different shapes and sizes and all of that. I just love the regular brads, small and large. I always just push it down with the back of my pen, and I don't care if it shifts. I'm good with that. Now, the other thing that we're going to do, so this is going to go down here, and I know what you're thinking, but Des, you just put the brads on. It's going to be crooked. It's going to wiggle back and forth. You're absolutely correct. But that's why we're going to do the same thing to this one, and it's going to balance itself out. Don't think I didn't think about that. Oh, have a good one, Flo. And these are very low riding brads. And you can also flatten them out. All right, now the table is going to shake a little bit. And now that just made them flatter. So, don't think you can't use the things that you love. You can also, and I was thinking about, put feet on your game board pieces as well. So there's that. How far are we in? Okay. Oh. A mallet. I do have one, but boy, that would have really. Um, Yeah, no, that's... I'm very resourceful. Okay, we're going to shake again. Here we go. Because these are on the underside. Of course. If you hear that sound in the background, that is Max, the cat, snoring. Wow. That's a lot of snoring going on there. And it is really loud. All right, so we have that, and look, if I put it down, see, it's not wiggling or anything like that. Yeah, I was a little worried about that. I'm just saying. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and this is going to come off there. Now, this I am going to need some double-sided tape and glue. Right? And by putting the glue on this, you are making sure that you've got wiggle room. And I'm really going to squeeze that. And I'm just cleaning up the glue with my nail. And we're going to come in with some clips. Yeah, it's wiggling now because of this. All right, let's get rid of some of our weapons. Because, wow. And, of course. There we go. All right. So now we have our game piece. Now this lifts it up just a little bit. You can take, if you take this off, it'll be flatter. But again, it's not like we're dealing with marbles. So that when we put this in our album, it'll be like that. And then we'll have another one for the tic-tac-toe and the makeshift checkers. Now, what's also going to be on this front are the pieces. So there's going to be an envelope that we're going to make that's going to house all of our game pieces. Let's see. Yeah, it just worked. All right, let me get something to drink. Catch up in the chat because I've been kind of. So it's charming. That's funny. You guys are awesome. Yes. Yes. Just remember, this is circle. Just saying. Just saying. I love making charms, Biddy. I think when you make charms out of paper or your pattern paper, I just think it adds something to it. But again, okay, I got a lot of pencils out here. But again, I will be the first one to admit, yes, I do like metal charms. Absolutely. And I'm always looking for different ones. But I think if we take our paper, yeah, I'm talking, so I'm not going to be able to count at the same time. I think, though, that if we take our paper, there's a lot of things that we can make from paper. I love making paper beads. Um, Paper beads are absolutely wonderful. And there's a lot that you can do with them. You can add some metal parts, and now I don't know what I just did. Okay, well, we're going to think that I grabbed one from the pile, so that means I just need one more here. I think they add a lot. when it comes to our projects and how we can completely put them together. I don't know. Sometimes I just think paper sometimes is underrated, um, because it's paper. I mean, I get it. Yeah, we can tear it. You know, like I say, we can tear it, we can rip it, we can ink it, we can do all kinds of things with it. But if we layer it, no matter what the weight of the paper is, we're adding strength to it. Now, no, we're not going to be able to take, no matter how many layers we have, we can't take all of that, all of those layers and, and submerge it in water. I'm just saying. It's going to go back to its natural state. But, really? Did I just try to do that? Wow. Oof. That is just amazing. Yay me. Um, but there's a lot of things, and we don't need, yes, I'm using a hole punch, and you need a hole punch that's going to go through this. That's going to go through chipboard. Those are the things that you just have to think about. A regular hand punch will not. I tried. It hurt. We can change the look of paper. Whether you're watercoloring on it, whether you're stamping on it, adding colored pencils. We're changing the look of the paper. But we can turn paper into jewelry. You just got to remember that, again, even though you varnish it, yeah, no. It's not something that you want to soak. And I put glue down that time, so you should be good. How many do I have? Okay, I got 2 more here. So that's why I love paper. It's in almost everything that, I don't want to say do, but magazines, newspapers, our work, our craft. It's involved in so many different things. I think it's funny that while paper has gotten better, we want to take it back to what it was, vintage. So I think that's funny. All right, we are on the last charm. And I'm going to grab, I don't know what the pouch is going to look like. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, good morning, Teresa. Hello. Yes, I'm checking comments late. Yes, Dawn, it does. Shrink wrap is awesome. Plastic wrap. I always tend to not make the piece big enough so that when it shrinks, it's a nice charm. Yeah, you knew that was coming, right? If nothing else, I always have fun in my craft room. Um, Again, my science teacher, he knew, and he looked at me and said, "Yeah, we're just going to pass you because the stuff that you're doing in here is just not safe." I was always very curious, very, very curious of how things interacted. I never burnt down the school. It was close. I did set off an alarm, but still, I never did that much damage. And I still remember his name, Professor Lukens. And then, of course, we also had to dissect our animals. Oh, where'd that one go? I named mine. He didn't like it. Again, I had to do something to get through science class because science was not my forte. Absolutely not my forte. I just wanted to play and have fun with playing to see what it would do. Yeah, they didn't want me to do that. Okay, so here are our chip pieces as well. So again, very sturdy when it comes to that. These are too small. I was thinking about putting holes in these as well and then stringing them on a ball and chain so that, all your pieces would be hanging from the book as well. But I just think these are too small for that, and I don't want to take away from the images that we have. I'm going to save those. I know I'm going to need those. But I do, as I said, there's going to be an envelope. Now, what would have really been cool was have magnets. You could put magnets on these. They did. Teachers were concerned, especially him. Um, Chocolate covered pretzels with breakfast. Okay, that sounds awesome. Um, I made some keys from shrink plastic. They were fun. No, I didn't blow up the beakers. In They just overflowed. Um, One generated a lot of heat, which set off the smoke alarms. So again, I was curious like I am now. What can we do to our paper so that, you know, I really do want to put these on magnets. What do you think? No, yeah, I never broke, nothing ever exploded. A lot of things smoked and overflowed. Yeah. I'm really liking the idea of magnets. Um, let's see if it works. You wanna see if it works? All right. What's the worst thing that can happen? Let's not think about it. Let's magnetize things. Yep, I'm thinking. I want to magnetize them. I definitely want to do that. We're gonna need a whole bunch, but that's okay. I've got a whole bunch. All right, now I'm gonna connect these to my ruler so I know where they are. I want, sorry, I gotta make nasty noises again. All right, so there's three. I need three more. Where's that? All right. You're going to need some double-sided tape. Mm-hmm. Mm. I wish I had a distressed thingy. You all know what I mean. A distressed round punch. Right? These papers here are from her creepy paper bundle. If that makes sense. All right, we're gonna go for it. Now, yes, when it comes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When it comes to your magnets, you really need them to be strong for this. All right, we are going to put a pocket here because my brain is telling me to do so. You like that? Yep. My brain is just telling me to put a pocket on this. It's going to be a flat pocket. But it is telling me, yep, we need to put a pocket on this piece. And we need to add a piece below that. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, yes, we do. If you hear a large crash, it's all good. So, that's my pocket. This piece measures 8.5 by 8.5. So I need this to be 8.25. So 8.25 is 4 1/8. I want that there. I didn't know we were supposed to get rain today. So I'm going to decorate the pocket or the back part, the backdrop, because that is what was throwing me off. This is going to come out real quick, so I do not destroy it. So we're going to put this piece down first. I am so glad I chose black cardstock. Yeah, okay. So if I set this here, sorry if my head's in the way. Because even though this is a game journal, okay, I still want the ability for the recipient or myself to add, to have tags in here and all of that, so that you can document, oh, we played this game on this night, and all of that stuff. So that, oh, please, thank you. And that was what was throwing me off. All right, so that's our backdrop. And then this is going to go here. And it's going to be a flat pocket. Now, what's going to go on top of this, I kind of really like that. All right, so this is cut to what? 4. So 3 3/4. Can I get it? Can I get it? Oh, we are so close. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to do it. Need 8 1/4. And I want that. And I cannot put this down until I make that look like a scorch mark. There we go. All right, let's work on this, because I cannot put this down until we have determined what the magnets are going to be. So let's get our double-sided tape. This is where you wish you had 5 hands. So these magnets are super thin, or yeah, super thin and super strong. All right, so what I've done is I've put double-sided tape on each side of these. So one, how do I want to do this? Mm-hmm. It's all right. We're going to put that down there. And then we're going to slide this out. I'll recover these. And then, to know the placement, I got to move that. Yeah? And I want to make sure that, okay, so now we've got that. So now I need to pick that up. And that's going to go there. Okay. Hey. Okay. Oh my goodness. This should go quicker. So I'm going to put one on the back. And I'll be recovering the backs. And then I'm going to take this here. See how it went away? So now I know I need to flip that. Magnets are very particular. Alright, so I know that's there. And that's going to go right there. So now we got that one down. Alright. And to make this go quicker, because these we just need to get in place. Now, and the magnets will be wider um, or wide enough, I should say, for when they're on the board. This is very fiddly. I just want to let you all know this is not for the faint of heart. Wow. I didn't think this was going to be this fiddly. It's a lot better when you are working in an album. All right, that one's there. That one's there. Yeah, after a while, you just kind of figure it out. That one's there. And of course, we have one more. All of the tape will be gone. Or I should say, you won't see it. And if you just throw the magnets, that will work as well. And then we'll put that one there. Okay. Now, we'll see if we have to have these in the exact same spot. But what I do know is our magnets are in place, and now I can put this piece over that. I love magnets. I think magnets are awesome. But, and again, it slows you down, or at least me. And now I'm going to line this up. And just making sure that that is in there. All right, now I need you all are going to be so sick of hearing these punches. Oh my goodness. And now we just need to put our backer piece back on this. That is not grungy enough for me. I'll save all this. And we're just going to line that back up on that. And we just need to make sure that we press down around it. Yeah, so they won't wobble now. All right, let's do the other ones. And then you will all need a rest after this one. All right, here we go. Next week, we're going to do something calm. Um, Maybe a jelly plate. Just saying. Just, just saying. So I want to make sure that there's nothing around the magnet that's sticking up. Because I don't want it to catch on anything like that. So I'm just making sure that the magnet's not going to go anywhere with the double-sided tape. That's a given. But you're taking, what's happening is, because this is a small piece that we're fitting that magnet in, um, you don't have much room to get the paper glue down. So you just got to make sure that you've got enough glue going on there. Because while they're thin, they're not completely thin. And it's going to bunch up. So you're kind of working out like air bubbles, I guess you want to say. Check the chat because I've been ignoring you. What are you? Okay. Okay. Now, fingers crossed. Oh, I already did this. Let me get there. I don't like white edges. So I'm making sure that there are no white edges. See, they're going to want to stick together too. This is going to be fun. If this works, guys. All right, let's. All right, Here we go. Moment of truth. Fingers crossed. All right, we're going to pull this back in. Now, I'm going, before I put this page on here, I'm going to, all right. So yeah, some of them may go against. See how that one's flipping? There we go. So they may have to be in the perfect spot so that they don't go all over, but yeah. Okay. All right. Now we'll put the page on. Oh. Pocket. Get it down there. So we can add tags. We can have fun with collaging on our tags. We've got our game pieces stuck. That is awesome. Ah. Good morning, Anthony. So that, yeah, okay, all right, okay. I'm loving that. That's how we're gonna go with all the other ones too. And then this will sit in here. And we've got the charm that's going to come off. We've got plenty of room in that. I've got more room going on in here. We can still decorate the back. I can still put, and we still have to decorate these as well. So we still have to put something on this side, but, and it didn't kill me on the thing. Okay. All right. Yeah. Nice job, guys. Glad you talked me into that. That is just, the only thing is you just got to make sure you have them in the same, on the same magnets. You know, like that one, it was retracting, but you'll know, you can feel it, and they are on there. They're not going anywhere. So that is cool. I did, Dawn. So the game board is in, because here's its tag. And then when that comes out, that is what you will see. What do you think? I like it. That was a great idea, guys. Kudos to you all. Kudos, kudos. Now I got over the hump. And we'll do the same thing when it comes to the checkers. And we're going to do the same thing when it comes to the tic-tac-toe. I think, though, I think it's going to have the same setup, though. We're going to have a pocket. I still want to be able to have pockets. And because this is taking up some real estate, so thank God I have, so I think this is a 3/8 inch gap in between each of our hinge. which is good. And I think I have that when it comes to the other side of that one. So, yeah. And then we'll add some different things here. I can always add a charm coming off this as well and just have fun. So, great guys. That was an awesome idea. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Credit to you all. That is a credit to you all. And again, I think, usually in your scrapbook albums, they're very interactive, which is great because you can really come up with some different ideas when it comes to them. I think with for these with the pages, I'm just going to have a pocket here. And I think I'm just going to have a pocket here on this side just to keep it simple and flat because I don't have too much room in between because I only gave a 3/8, which is plenty of room. You don't have to have, inches in between your hinged pages. Um, but yeah, that was a great idea, guys. So I'm going to do the same thing. Um, I'm going to leave the backs alone for right now because I may want to have two flips, but yet the top is a flip, the bottom's a pocket, and then there's something that holds it. I just need to see if there's an image of what I can do with that. I don't believe there will be, so I may just go with the pockets. But we're going to do the other two the same way. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next Sunday. Where are we at? We are at... Dawn, have an awesome day. Oh, good. You got through the storms. Wonderful. Enjoy, enjoy. I think I'm actually going to let you guys go. To go enjoy your day. Hopefully, you're not caught in storms. If you are, please be safe. Always, always, always. Thank you so much for joining me today and, coming up with this idea. It worked. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now I think I'm going to continue on and just keep going with this because we're coming towards the end of June and I want to make sure that at least this album's done, and then in the background I'm going to continue on the other album as well. You guys will see them. You'll see some other videos for these as well. But I think next weekend, what would you guys, and I'll put it in the community section of my YouTube. Now I don't have the same community I think that everyone else is talking about on my YouTube channel. I think I'm going to put a post there and I'll put 3 or 4 choices of very simple statements of what you would want to see next Sunday. And then you guys get to choose. You guys will get to choose. Yes, I will keep all of these circles. Because they will come in handy. So, guys, have a great day. Again, thank you so much. I love you all very, very much. Very much appreciate you. Grateful for you being here and all of that. Please take care, stay safe, and I will see you next Sunday. I will have a video coming out this week for number 5 in the Christmas series. We do a little bit of watercoloring in that one. And then I will have one the following week. I'm going to make a summer folio. So that is fun. So that'll be a video. And then I'm not sure after that. I try not to think too far ahead. Again, guys, if you want, remember, I've got our community going. It's been wonderful. I have truly been enjoying that immensely. I enjoy everything that I do, but that um, especially, remember the first level, it is free. We are just about to wrap up master boards and what we can do with them. It's all about the master board. And then in the paid, I'll show you next week what that project looked like that we did from start to finish. And that's how all the videos are in the community in both levels. They are from start to finish. After I shut down this live, I will put all the links down below. So love to see you there. There's just even more to see. It is different than what you're seeing, or in addition to what you see on my YouTube channel. So guys, take care, be well, and I'll talk to you in the next one.